We're gonna see how that works.
Oh, does it move?
No, I made sure it didn't. It's not
Oh,
moving. Okay. Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome back to Fire Hour. If you're new here, Fire Hour is all about working on the best project you'll ever work on, which is you. All right. So in today's episode, we're gonna try to figure it out because we're still trying to catch up on everything. Shout out to everyone who showed up to Love Rising, who shared, who supported, who contributed the energy. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It exceeded our expectations, and it just showed us like the real impact of what we are doing and how much this is needed in the world. So, again, shout out to everyone who assisted and helped and supported, volunteered, shared the message, donated, contributed, just all the stuff. Okay, like there was just all the energy was necessary, needed, and received, and so we created momentum. Right, momentum. I think that that's actually the topic of today's call is momentum.
you know what's so funny? I was thinking about the other day too. I was just like, feel like we went over it already, but I feel like it's something that never gets old because it's always needed, right? Like in anything and everything that you do, you always need that momentum and that like spark to like ignite everything, in order to like be able to go on a run.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's funny that you mentioned that.
Well, it just makes sense. Like I'm gonna move this down. Yeah. So and shout out to Debbie. So she is one of the founders of the Love Tower, and it's Debbie and Billy. And we had like a in-depth discussion with them over the weekend. But I didn't know this. Like Crystal and I didn't know this. But Debbie, she was in the network marketing industry.
Well, I knew she was in the network marketing industry. I just didn't know like how many companies she's went to and like how big she was in the network marketing space. I just knew like she did network marketing and maybe like a few businesses or like a few companies, but I didn't know to the extent, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. She made a significant amount, and she has like a lot of wisdom, like so much wisdom to the point where, and even like the position that she was in or she's in, right? It's at the top levels. Okay. So if you think about like the people at the top, like that, just think about that.
She trained on stages with like Ray Higdon and all those people.
Yeah.
So
Basically she's
like
playing at the
that.
top. So yeah, but she was actually giving us some wisdom, right? Sharing some wisdom. And one of the biggest takeaways that she shared was momentum. It was actually about momentum. And she said that, and this was such a good reminder for myself as well. But now that we are in, momentum with the Love Tower, right? Because it's been an uphill battle with the Love Tower. But now that we've done Love Rising Festival, created that momentum, and everything has now come to fruition, right? We're here. We're on the other end of it. Now it's like, what is the next step that we're going to take? Well, what are we going to do to continue this momentum? And one of the biggest pieces of advice that she gave us was, how do you control momentum? You don't control it, right? The biggest mistake is trying to control momentum
Or force.
or force it. And here's why. It's because when you start to try and can you just start admitting people, please?
Yeah.
When you start to when momentum is there, it's present, it's a force. Okay. It's a force of its own. And so when you start to try and like control it, like block it, like resist it, all these different things, all you're doing is just slowing down momentum, right? So what she said was you don't do anything else but steer. That's it. When you have momentum, all you have to do is steer. That's all it is. Steer it, guide it to where it needs to go. So when it comes to momentum, like that's exactly like that's the force right there. That's like what we're in right now, and we can't slow down like at all because momentum is here.
So that was your biggest takeaway. I would say that was like one of mine.
Mhm.
Another thing, but what I thought was one of my biggest ones, and like this is from someone who we've known for like the last 4 years. We've been on calls, we've been talking, like we're great friends. But it was really then that like we kind of had like this connection, right? And she was like a seven-figure a year earner. And she built a lot of teams like in the US and out of many countries, right? And so she's seen all the ups and downs for the last, what is it, 30, 40 years?
Yeah.
And all the companies out there, they know her because their CEOs are always like throwing products at her, right? Like try this product or try this product and how's it going? So the next biggest, like I feel like the biggest thing that she told me was like, don't hop around. Don't
Mm,
hop around. Like, don't be one of those people that hop around different opportunities, like, because no one's going to trust you.
yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Like, that's one thing I've always told myself is that, like, if it's not this, then it's nothing, right? Like, if it's not Thrive, then it's nothing. Like, if it's not this, like, I'm not going to go anywhere else. And like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to start over again, right? Like, I believe in like long term, and so if you're not putting in all your energy towards one thing and you hop around looking for better opportunities or other opportunities, like you're still going to take yourself with you, right? So whatever problems you had in this company or this business or that group or this group, if you notice like the same pattern, usually it's probably not everyone or everything else. It's probably you, right? And so she's like, the biggest thing I can tell you is like, don't hop around. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't plan on because like, I just don't like to do that, right? Like everything that I do that I pour my energy into and my time into, I like to do long term. And if things are like when I do an evaluation of things, I usually look through things just to make sure like this is where I want to put my energy because it's harder to continue to start momentum over and over again. And usually when you hop around so much, people don't trust you, like one day it's hair, the next day it's skin, the next day it's vitamins, the next day it's insurance, the next day it's crypto, the next day, like, on and on and on. And I'm not like saying anything about everyone here. Like, I don't know where you guys came from. I don't know where you're going to or what you're planning on doing. I don't know. All I know is like I've seen enough over like the last 6 years because like this industry, it's not different than any other industry, right? Like it's not different. It's like hopping around business to business or job to job to job to job. You know what I mean? Instead of like focusing on the grass is greener on the other side, like water your own damn grass and make it greener. You know what I mean? Like you have the option and the choices to be able to make what you have much better than it is, but it depends on like what is your level of accountability and how much are you willing to sacrifice and how much are you willing to take a look in the mirror to see like, hey, what if I just said maybe things aren't working out because of me? Is there something that I could do better? Is there something that I'm not doing that someone else that's really successful is doing? And that again is like in life, right? Like it's in life, it's in business, it's in if you're a student at school, what have you, like we're a student of life. Overall, it's just like how do you become a better person or a better version of yourself so that you always bring like the best you into anything and everything that you do, right?
Hmm.
Because how you do anything is almost how you do everything, right? So yeah, that was my biggest takeaway. And I was like, oh yeah, I don't plan on it.
That's good. Yeah. Those are like the three types of people, right? Like the dabbler. Well, let's just talk about two people. Dabbler and the master. That's it. Right. And so like when it comes to you being focused on your goals and dreams and you being able to, it's like what Verge says, right? It says something about your integrity and commitment, right? Like be successful in that one thing. And then from there, figure out how to expand after. And don't hop around unless like you're in that stage of life, right? If you're dabbling, it's because there's a purpose for dabbling, right? If you are the master and the master, if I didn't explain this before, for those who are new, like there's two types of people, right? There's the dabbler and there's the master. The dabbler is the person who just hops around, really, like, but they are exploring. They're exploring. However, like there's a dabbler, stressor, and master, but there's three types, but I'm not gonna talk about the stressor because the stressor is basically the person that is just stressed out all the time. That's basically it. So don't be that person, okay? So forget about that one. There's only two, the dabbler and the master. The dabbler is the person that hops into one opportunity and then they get shiny object syndrome and then hops into the next and then gets shiny object syndrome, hops into the next. They keep thinking that the grass is greener on the other side when it's not. And so that's the dabbler, okay? That's one perspective of the dabbler. Like, so that's why we're saying, like, don't be the dabbler. Like learn to just stay committed and stay focused and have integrity with what you want to do, right? If you want to do something and you truly do, your actions will follow through with that, right? And then that's what's going to speak volumes to everyone else, and that's what they're going to see. And so when it comes to like the master though, the master is the person that already understands and is aware that there is noise, that there is other things out there, that there is shiny object syndromes, but then they decide to stay focused on their goals. They decide to stay focused on their position. They decide to stay true to their commitment, right? And so when it comes to those two types of mentalities, those two types of perspectives, for you, it's good to be aware because when you start to rise in fame, when you start to rise in success, when you start to create momentum, there's going to be shiny object syndrome, right? There is going to be shiny objects like showing up,
There's
flashing
gonna
out of
be, yeah,
nowhere.
more opportunities.
Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah.
because and here's why, right? Isn't it true? Right? Have you guys heard this quote or this saying?
What saying?
It just went out of my head.
I thought you were looking at me to like I knew it or I was supposed to say it, and I was like,
trying to wake people up. Just kidding. So like success loves speed, right? Success loves speed, but success is also a magnet, okay? It's a magnet. And so when it comes to like you winning, when it comes to you achieving goals, when it comes to you creating momentum, it's going to attract, okay? It's going to attract other people who want to be with you. It's going to attract other opportunities that want to come in because it's wealth, right? It's like it's abundant energy. And all people who see that, like they want to ride the train, right? There is like that the story of the bullet train, like the speeding bullet train. And the speeding bullet train is your goals and dreams. It's the vision. And it's going at 100 miles per hour, even faster. And for those of them, for those of the people who are on that bullet train, like they are riding with momentum. They are riding towards the vision, whatever that is. And so you have two choices. One is either get on the train or miss out, right? Get on the train or miss out. Okay. Those are the only two choices you have. And so if you decide to miss out, that's totally fine. You know, that's totally fine because maybe that's not the vision that you want. Maybe that's not the goals and dreams that you want, but it's still going with or without you, right? And for the people who are getting on that train, for the people who they want to catch a ride on that speeding bullet, on that momentum, right? They're gonna try and fit their way in no matter what, right? So that's like I'm simplifying everything, but that is essentially what happens, right? When you have success, true or not true, that people out of nowhere come out like they come out of the woodwork and they're like, "Yo, like, how you been? Hey, what's going on now? Hey, what I've seen like you're doing this XYZ. Like, what's
oh, did
going
you ever
on?
respond to that one girl?
What?
Did you ever respond to her and invite her?
I invited and then I left it at that. Right? So that's not new to me. This is normal. So
Okay.
it's normal, all right? So Angela says, so good. You'll find out a way to get in. Yes, exactly. And that's, that is positive. That's a good thing, right? It is a good thing. It just depends on your perspective, right? It's good or bad. Like, who knows, right? It's both, right? So, but it's about what you do with it, right? And it's about who you let in and also like who's that person as well. And so that's why it's so important, like going back to like what Crystal was saying, it's so important to build yourself because when you build yourself, like no matter what happens, you're just going to keep on doing the work on yourself and you're going to continue to get better, right? The best project you'll ever work on is you. So continue to focus on yourself. Fire Hour is about transformation for yourself, personal development for yourself, leadership development for yourself. And then from there, everything that you do, right? Everything that you say, think, and do, it's going to be rippled to everyone else that gets started with you. Angela says, I ain't getting left behind. I'm going. Yes, exactly. Right. And guess what? Like most successful people, at least the people that I know that are successful, like they obviously like did their thing. They did the work. They're still doing the work. They don't stop doing the work, but they stay focused. Okay. Laser like focused on their goals and dreams. And when momentum hits, what do? They double down. They don't wait. Okay. The biggest mistake that I see amateur entrepreneurs make is when they hit success, when they win for the first time ever or for the third time, whatever it is, they stop, they slow down. One of the laws of leadership, right? And John C. Maxwell, is stopping, literally. Like it's about killing momentum. Like you don't kill momentum. Don't stop momentum. Roll with momentum and go with it. But now it's about steering. It's about steering the momentum towards where it needs to go. And so if you decide to stop when you started winning, what's going to happen? A business only grows or dies. It's either going up or down. If you have momentum, your business, no matter how that looks, it's going up. Okay. No matter how that looks, it's going up. However, if you decide to just not do anything about that momentum, what's going to happen? Right? What's going to happen? It's going to die. Okay. So in that position, when you're in that position as a leader, every single one of you as a leader, when you start to win and you start to seek success, double down, like 10x your efforts, go harder, go faster, take action faster. Like success loves speed. Take action as fast as humanly possible, no matter what it looks like, and just keep on pivoting along the way, right? Be strategic, but at the same time, be intentional with action and purpose and actually do something about it because the momentum's there. All the hard work and effort for the past year, 10 years, etc., is now there. So take action, right? Take action now. And so when it comes to like the love tower for us, right? This is exactly what we're in. Like the energy that we have now created, like with everyone's support, now it's here. So we must steer, but we must take action and we must continue the momentum. Otherwise, what's going to happen? This is what's going to happen if we don't do anything. Okay. It either grows or dies. Okay. So don't like, we're not going to let that die. All the momentum that we create, all the success that you create, that abundant energy, that just compressed energy, that it's about to explode. Like, let's keep on going. Let's keep on taking more action. Let's keep on doing the work. Okay. So like that, I know you want to add some stuff to it.
It's much harder to start over again than it is to continue. If you find yourself at a place where you have a lot of momentum, but all of a sudden you're like, I'm feeling burnt out, like talk to a leader, talk to an upline, right? Like negativity up, positivity down. Like don't go down to your team and start complaining and like saying who said what behind who's what. No. Like that goes up. All of it goes up. Talk to someone, talk to a leader and just be like, hey, like we're doing great right now. Like I have nothing to complain about, but this is how I feel because they've probably been there, they've probably done that, and they're going to talk to you about, maybe at what point in time they felt that way and the tools that they've used to overcome that experience to help you get out of that funk, right? So that if any of your team members are feeling that, they will be able to go to you and you'll be able to help them like get out of that, right? So it's important that if you are in the momentum phase, not to stop, but when you feel some type of way, you feel an inkling of anything, like talk to someone, right? Talk to your leader, talk to your sponsor, or talk to someone up, right? Negativity up, positivity down. And ask for help, like talk to different people, get different perspectives. But no matter what, like don't just put on the brakes and stop, and because it's so much harder, right? Like it's so much harder to start over again, like with anything and everything that you do. Like you go on a 90-day run, like you don't want to lose that, right? There will be times, there will be seasons, but as long as you know that like you're giving it your best, keep going. And sometimes it's the personal development, right? Like how can you improve, right? Because sometimes you can't change the things that are going on around you. You can't change people, but you can always change yourself. You can always change your perspective, and love what you do. When you truly love what you do and who you do it with, I feel like you're never going to feel tired or you're never going to feel burnt out, because when you have a group or a team of people with you and they're all going after the same goal, you guys are doing it together, like it's a really good feeling, right? But when you're by yourself or there's only like a small handful of you, it's kind of like you're pushing and you're like, oh my goodness, like it's a bit hard, right? But someone always has to do the hard. There's always people that are going to have to do the hard and do the things that they might not want to do because they understand that if not you, then who? Right? Like you can sit around and you can watch. And after a while, when you see nothing happening, guess what? Is probably up to you to start making things happen and to build that momentum and at least knock things out day by day, right?
Exactly.
And so it's not always the easiest, but just love what you do. Like truly, truly love what you do, because if you love what you do, it's not always going to feel like a battle, right? Like there's always going to be that vision and that reminder of like and the passion, Sometimes you just have to find that passion again, or you just have to find that person that ignites you, right? You have to find that person where you're like, man, like I need to be reminded of what I need to do and where I need to be. I need to hear you talk right now. Like I need to work alongside you because you're going to inspire me, and like I'm going to turn on and I'm going to push and I'm going to go and I'm going to like help turn somebody else on too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's again, it's like that magnet. Like you become that success magnet, and you start to attract winners. You start to attract people who are winning, right? And people who are just in that same energy. Angela says, when it comes to momentum, right? Complacency kills momentum. Yeah. Verge says, going with you or without you. My success is determined on myself. Exactly. Yeah, every single one of us is a leader. It's our responsibility and duty to make the decisions for ourselves, right? First and foremost. Do not be complacent. Do not get stuck in like the victim mentality mode or any of that stuff. Like there's no time for that. You know what I mean? There's no time for that.
And this is a good metaphor that Verge brought up, because I feel like it's so relatable to what we do. She's like, okay, so like if you have weight loss goals and you put in the work at your fitness and health, once you lose the weight or once you get to that ideal health weight or health goal, like what happens if you just stop? So people are often like, okay, like if I start thriving and then I lose all the weight, like I'm going to stop. It's like, well, what are you going to do that you obviously weren't doing before to make sure you keep the weight off, right? But anyways, why would you stop? It's vitamins and you need to like fill in your nutritional gaps anyways, right? So why would you stop? But it's like, well, what are you going to do to maintain? Right? Like you're going to hit the gym for 90 days. You're going to lose the weight. You're going to look good. You're going to feel good. You're going to change your diet in those 90 days too. Then what afterwards? Right? It's all about maintenance and consistency. Like that's what life is about. It's how disciplined are you to stay consistent, even when you've already feel like you're on top of the world and you've already hit your goals. Set another one. There's always still another one. Like life is constantly changing and evolving within you and outside of you, right? Like if you become complacent in your life, if something happens outside of your life that you were not in control of, because most of the time we aren't in control of anything outside of us, what's going to happen? You're not going to have the tools to adapt quickly or the mindset to be able to push on, right? Or to like figure it out. So it's not just you working in this or you doing this in that. It's really like a project, and a project is you. And when do you want to stop working on yourself? Like when do you want to stop improving in your life or having things that you didn't have before, right? Like options, time freedom. I don't know, but for me, like I can never have enough freedom. I can never have enough options to be able to do things with the people that I love or to be able to like help our parents, right? When we can, if we can in any way. And so like for me, like I think that thinking of like your whys is also your drive. At the end of the day, like if you quit on something, it doesn't matter if it's your job, your family, like this, anything, like you're really quitting on a part of yourself. And yes, there are times when things just don't work out and it's time to move on from something. But if you find yourself constantly quitting, or like giving up every single time there's some pushback or some negativity or someone opposes something that you say because they don't understand where you come from, right? They didn't learn what you learned. If you keep quitting and stopping, like I guarantee, like the next place you go to, you're probably going to do the same thing, right? And eventually, like you have to look at yourself. Like maybe it's not them or this or that. Maybe it's you and your mindset and your perspective and not being able to break past those barriers. And if people don't understand, they don't understand. You can't make them understand. But if you know and you have that internal knowing of what you want to do, where you want to go, like it doesn't matter. You'll
Mhm.
always keep pushing through that resistance. There will always be resistance at every single step that you go, right? But are you willing, or is your mind strong enough to resist that resistance at any and every point? Like, oh, are you a quitter, or are you someone that's like, I want this, I'm going to get this. If this comes in my way, I'm going to just move it or go around it or go through it.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so there's this is just all part of success, like the mentality, like the mindset. This is all just mindset. But it's also about like taking advice from experience, right? And like going through it with speed. Okay. So I was writing down some notes because part of momentum is about organization, right? Organization. It's really key, right? And so something that I learned from my mentor is he calls it P and E, right? P and E means plan and execute, plan and execute, plan and execute. And this was like a 7-figure lesson that I learned because it was like a 7-figure mistake. That's why.
I don't think I've
So,
heard this story before. I don't think I've heard the plan and execute theory before from you.
I shared it. I shared it before.
When you said P and E, I was like, private equity?
No, no. Everyone has access to P and E, okay, which is planning and executing. Okay. When it comes to momentum, right? Like part of momentum is about being organized. Okay. Remember, like this is my framework of like just being able to achieve speed. Like step one is clarity. Step two is direction. Step three is speed. If you have clarity, you're able to take the next steps. If you're able to take the next steps, you're able to achieve your goals. You're able to achieve results. And that's speed. Okay. Success loves speed. I'm going to keep on saying this throughout this call because success loves speed. All right. You see how it rhymed? I don't know if it rhymed or not, but it just connected. So when it comes to organization, P&E, right? Plan and execute. Every single thing that you do, it's all about organization. It's about being able to stay ahead of the game and stay ahead of everyone else that is in the competition with you. And there is a theory or a philosophy that there is no competition. But if you are selling the same exact product or service, or you're competing in the same industry, in business, there is competition. However, you can take it with a grain of salt because at the end of the day, like it's just about like manifesting and being in alignment and taking action and going towards your goals and dreams and not worrying about anyone else except for yourself. Okay. You stay focused on the inside and not on the outside. Like forget about the noise outside. Forget about all that stuff. Like it's all just whatever. On the inside, when you focus on what you want to do, you focus on yourself, you focus on your mindset, you focus on your development, you focus on doing the work, everything else comes. It comes naturally. But you have to have a plan and you have to be able to understand your vision and know where you're going. Okay. So when it comes to planning and executing, or like it's just about having a simple, like don't make it complex, make it simple, super simple, and then get it done. And that's it. And when it comes to organization, like one of the biggest things that like really helps me personally when it comes to taking action is just simplification. Simplification and then using availability bias, which is just basically saying, I want to have everything that I need in an arm's reach. That's it. So for example, when it comes to creating content, right? Like I've been using my iPhone for the past like decade, right? Basically my phone for the past decade to create content. I've realized that it's just such a constraint for myself to create content on it the way I want to create content. So therefore, we decided to like invest in a different equipment, which is called the Osmo, right? The Osmo Pocket 3. And I encourage every single person who's a content creator to get one because why? I'm just going to cut the learning curve. It's going to automatically track your face when you put it down. You can be on your phone still because I do a lot of work on my phone. So I need to be on my phone. And if I want to reference something, or if I need to like reply to a message, or if I just need to do something, at least I can use my phone. It's available for me, right? And then I'm still recording. I'm still capturing content, right? That's just the tool. Part of organization is having the tools ready. So I'm going to make that another thing. Well, for your notes, if you're taking notes, right? Organization is key with momentum. Having the tools ready is major key because it's going to help you unlock speed. Okay. Here's a question for you. What do you need in your life today that will help you go faster? What do you need in your life today that's going to help you go faster? Okay. Jot down everything, whatever that is. It doesn't matter how much money it costs. It doesn't matter how far out of reach it is. It doesn't matter what it is. Just jot it down for yourself, right? This is an exercise that you can do right now. And then take this, and after this episode, after this call, you can go implement it right away. Okay. What is a tool? Christine says a nanny. That's good, right? That is good. That's a good answer. What else is there? Okay. For yourself, this is all about you, all about you. What else do you need? Like what tools, what do you need today that's going to help you go faster? This is a great question to ask yourself, especially as a leader, especially as an entrepreneur, especially as a business owner, especially as someone who is in control of their destiny. Okay.
A nanny, yes, cannot.
I'm gonna write this question down.
It's It's difficult to raise kids full time and at the same time like do all the things, you know. I always like moms are the greatest, right? They'll always get things done faster and more efficiently because they realize if they have 100 things stacked up within a 14-hour day, they need to get as many things done as quickly and efficiently as possible. Um, it definitely makes it a lot harder without help, right? Like for most of like my first two kids, like I had nannies and I'm talking about overnight nannies, like 6 days, 24/7 nannies. And it made it easier because I was able to like sleep and like work, right? But those were the days when I actually had to go into an office and I couldn't just like work from home. But even when I did work from home, I still had like a nanny or like daycares, right? It does make it harder when you are taking care of a kid full time to be able to work full time or even like do things on the side. But I would say it's very possible, and you just have to learn how to delegate more, outsource more, cut off things that you really don't need to do or have to do. And just work. You'll figure out a way to always save more time and work faster. There's something that has helped me significantly, and I always share this with people, and whether they use it or not is totally up to you. But I have an app and it's called Johanna, and it helps me delegate tasks. Like there are so many things that I have delegated off of this app, and it's been freaking amazing, right? There's times where you could use ChatGPT and AI to be able to help you plan things, but there's times when you actually need a human touch researching things and then being able to go back and forth and delegating stuff. So I will always like shout them out because they've been amazing. They have helped me leverage so much time and they have been so much cheaper than if I was to hire someone. Even if I hired someone at minimum wage, like it's so much cheaper, right? So it's a mom hack or just a hack in general, right? Like learn how to delegate as efficiently and less costly as possible.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like that. I always like I always tell you to like use it. Like, did you order did you get Johanna to do it? Like, what's up?
Yes, Johanna
And then she's like, "Oh, I
with
forgot."
one N.
Sometimes. But
No,
it's
I got my receipts. You should see all the things I asked them to do and all the resources they pull. I'm like, man,
yeah, it's powerful. It's just such a needed tool.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway,
just timely. You have to be able to plan ahead of time, to be able to ask ahead of time, and you have to be as specific as possible. Okay. The more specific you are with your criterias of what you're searching for, the better. For example, I am looking for this. Please check Yelp and Google. I want 4 out of 5 stars out of a minimum of 100 or 200 reviews. And then this is when I need them for. Please call them and schedule an appointment or get me a quote, right? Because most of the time when you hop on the phone, people are trying to sell you. I don't want to be on the phone trying to be sold to. For me, it's like, this is what I want. Give me my answer and I'll get back to you, right? Like I'm very just cutthroat fast. It's like time is money and like 1 hour of my time, maybe like a lot, right? And so it's like, if you learn to delegate and have other people do things that they're good at or that you pay them for and you don't have to pay that much, then like do it.
yeah, and that's huge. You know, like if you notice this, okay? When she was explaining like the example of what she gives when giving direction, I literally wrote it down. It's specific, it's planned, and it's organized, and there's a due date. Okay? There's four things right there. Guess what? If you are giving direction and it's specific, it's planned, is organized, and there's a due date, there's very clear direction. Okay? Because there's clarity, there's direction that unlocks the speed, right? So this is part of delegating, right? This is a skill set that leaders must have, especially in team. Like you have to delegate with like being very specific, being organized and planned so that way you can take action and get results fast. That's about momentum. That's staying organized. And this is something that I've learned about people who are very successful. Like they are very specific. They are very planned. They are very organized. They stay ahead because why? It's exactly what she shared. Everyone's time is not the same. Okay. Every single person here, your time is valued completely different than someone else right next to you. And here's how I learned that. When I used to work full time, I was working 12 hours a day. I was getting paid $8 per hour. I'm doing all the things I can. I'm spending 12 hours of my time and I get paid $8 per hour, right? Then there's someone who's, you know, like in my example, like I'm working at the San Diego airport, right, as the food cashier. I'm getting people coffee, I'm getting people croissants, right? I'm getting people whatever they want, and I'm just behind the counter, right? And I'm going out to the airport, like the seats, I'm giving them their food, right? All that stuff, okay? So guess what? I'm doing 12 hours a day right there. And then there's people who have like their entire families. They're traveling with their entire family and they're going out and they're having fun and they're laughing and they're enjoying their time, right? And you know, when I ask them like, what do you do? Some of them are like pilots, some of them are business on business trips, some of them are in sales, some of them are XYZ, right? Because I asked, because I'm curious, because I want to get out of the position because I was hungry. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to stay in that position. So I'm asking the questions. Okay. I'm asking questions to people who I think they have something that I don't know, right? They know something I don't. I'm a student. I've always been a student. I'm asking the questions. So guess what? All right. What I realize is that every single, like, why does someone get paid $30 an hour and I'm getting paid $8 an hour? It's because of the value that they provide to the market. That's it. So guess what? I'll answer that one. When it comes to like your time as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as an individual, as an employee, whatever position you're in, the time to the amount of money that you're making per time is not the same as everyone else. Okay. I'm going to ask you a question for everyone who's a full-time employee, right? Whatever position you're in, even entrepreneurs, whatever position you're in, okay, just like calculate 1 hour of work. Okay. In that 1 hour of time, how much can you really get done? Right? How much can you truly get done if you really thought about it and you really planned it and then you were like, you know what? Like this is what I got to do to get this result. How much time would it take? Okay? For me, like I already know that if I have to do something and it's going to take me 5 minutes and it's a priority and it's something that's going to move the needle forward because it's a 20% that gets the 80 done, I am doing it right away. Why? It's simply because I just know what's going to unlock after. Okay? Clarity, direction, speed, right? Clarity, direction, speed. Speed is king. Speed is king. Okay. So this, Christine's asking specific, planned, organized. I missed one. And due date, the time, right? Got to have a specific plan with organized, organized action and a date, a time that you want it done. And this is for yourself. You delegated this to yourself. You guide yourself with this, and you also guide others with it as well. And yes, like we can be extreme. You're welcome. We can be extreme, okay? And because why? What does extreme mean? Extreme doesn't mean anything unless you define it, right? For me, like whenever this is something I learned from my mentor, okay? Like when I was working with my mentor, I'm gonna just share a quick story. I had a very unique experience working with my mentor. Okay. Most people didn't have this experience, especially the people that at the time, 2015 and 2017 that we were working with. There was something called the business bodyguard. Okay. It was called the business bodyguard. There was 5 bodyguards that were selected. And the way that you earned this position was that you would be pulled from the office. We had an office in Sunset on the top floors, like the sixth, I think it was like the 6th floor and then the penthouse. Okay. And the rent there, from what I was shared with, is like over $100,000 per month. Okay. So that was just a level. Like there's many levels to this business game. Right. So I was working full time in the office, right, in LA. And I was head of customer support, meaning that I was basically like the central hub of the entire operation, aside from my boss, right? My department, the customer support department, touched the marketing, touched the publishing, touched the PR, touched the HR, touched the computer development, touched the people that were coming, the guests, touched the charities, touched the finance, touched the operations, touched the executives, touched the boss, all this stuff. Okay. My department was the central of every single thing because here's why. This is a hack that most people don't understand, especially business owners. Customer support is the first touch point. Okay, it's the first touch point of every business, and it's an extension of marketing. Okay, it's an extension of brand. So support. This is how you look at it. Okay, there is your business, and then the first person that touches or that contacts or connects with your audience, that connects with your customers, your clients, your partners, etc., is customer support. On the back end of that is marketing. Okay. The marketers don't talk to the customers. The marketers are just they're strategizing, they're taking action on the content, they're doing all the stuff, right? The customer support, whoever is customer support, it might be you, it might be your team, it might be someone, whoever, it might be people that you're outsourcing to. Well, guess what? Customers, this is why I don't recommend to outsource customer support. It's because that is an extension of your brand. If people on the other end have a very bad experience with your customer support, that is a reflection of your brand. It destroys your credibility. It lowers reputation. It lowers your status. It lowers a lot of stuff. That's why customer support is really an important pillar in any business, in any company. Okay. So this right here, customer support, and then this Angela, right? Like customers are free marketing, right? Your customers are also an extension of customer support because they are talking on behalf of your company, on behalf of your brand. So customer support is really important. So when it comes to like my experience, right? I was customer support in the middle of everything. And I'm like, I'm hearing all the feedback from all the customers from millions of people. Okay. I'm hearing all of this. I'm seeing it all. That's why I'm able to cut the learning curve because I've seen like what happens worldwide. Like I have enough data and feedback to understand like market trends and to understand and to catch trends and to see what's out there and to see like kind of like what people want and what people need. That was just my experience. I add that into my marketing expertise. Okay. So when it comes to this, like I was working full time there, then I got accepted or invited to go into the business bodyguard to try it out. So a lot of people from the office would be pulled to the mansion, the Beverly Hills mansion, and we would actually work inside the house with Ty specifically, with our boss specifically, and it would be we would be an extension of him. And so this incorporated working remote. This incorporated giving direction to the team at the office. It incorporated like understanding his mindset, understanding his perspective, understanding his routine, his daily routine, understanding like what he likes, what he doesn't like, understanding how he delegates, understanding how he outsources, understanding how he thinks, all these different things, ideas, left and right. Okay. Speed, and organization specific, planned by time. Okay. It was all this stuff. And guess what? A lot of people would go in and out. A lot of people would go in and out because if there was no synergy, he saw that your stickability factor was very high. What he means by stickability factor, this is another thing
I was
too.
gonna say,
Yeah,
what is
sorry.
that?
I'll talk about it, but like basically like as an entrepreneur, right? And because entrepreneurship is different, your time is valued completely differently, right? At the time, his time was way more like per minute, it was way more than 5 figures per minute. Okay. Like my time there was like I was getting paid like $25 an hour or something like that.
That's still a lot for 2015.
Yeah, but like compared to his
Yeah, yeah.
time, like $25,000, right? Or however much. Okay. Time, everyone's time. We all share the same time, but it's not valued the same
Nope.
based on what you do, based on your position, based on your decisions, based on your business, based on your mindset, based on everything that you have creative control with, right? As an entrepreneur, you are creative. You are an artist. You are a designer. You are a manifester. You do whatever you want. That's what I learned in entrepreneurship. You can do whatever you want. So like in this business bodyguard thing, I saw a lot of people go out because what he was looking for, at least in my perspective, was a duplication of himself.
Mm-hmm.
Who can I have around me that is going to help me unlock speed and get me the results that I need?
Yep.
Okay. When it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to you building your team, this is why I asked before. Imagine if you had another person, another version of yourself right next to you on your team doing all the work with you. That's what I experienced over there. He was looking for people to duplicate himself. So I got to learn the ins and outs of the mindset that he had, the perspective that he had, the ideas, how big he dreams, how fast he takes action, how he does all the things in order to run a 9-figure business. I learned all that because I was there firsthand, because I was one of the bodyguards, the 5 bodyguards, which actually got down to 2. It was only 2 people after this experiment ended. So from all this people, from 5 to 2, it was Nathan and myself. We were the ones that were selected. So now we had even more exclusive access to my boss, to Ty Lopez. And it's literally from morning till nighttime. I remember one time, and this is something that I learned, and I actually took this idea and I started my own business with it. And that's how I lived off of my Instagram. Okay. It was from one conversation at 2 a.m. in the morning with Ty. It was Nathan and Ty and myself in his kitchen in the Beverly Hills mansion. And this was when Nathan and I were house sitting the Beverly Hills mansion for the very first time. And Ty was like, you know, you can invite whoever you want, but just keep it very minimal. Like you can party, it's all good. But, you know, at the end of the day, like this is like, you know, just he just trusted us. Okay. Basically, it was like a friend, it was a friendly conversation between like friends, amongst friends. But he was talking about status. Okay. He was talking about the three types of things that makes the world go around. And he talks about how it's knowledge, knowledge, and money. Okay. And so he said that in that society at the time, right, in the perspective of society in 2015 to 2017, at the time, everything he ordered it like this, okay? It was status first, it was money second, and then it was knowledge last. And from that one conversation, it was about like 20-minute conversation at 2 a.m. in the morning. Status, money, knowledge. Right? Look, don't look at it from like that tier, look at it from right here. Like turn it on its side. Status, money, knowledge. Having all three. Okay. If you're able to use, if you have status or if you have knowledge, but you don't have status and you don't have money, you can use your knowledge to gain the money. You can use your knowledge to gain the status. If you don't have status, but you have money and you don't and you have the knowledge, you're able to do those, you're able to allocate those resources to get like the status. Okay. There's many different ways that you can allocate capital, basically. So I learned that from that one conversation at 2 a.m. in the morning because I had insider access. I had more exclusive access to someone who's crushing it. And that one idea, just that one idea, status, money, knowledge, helped me build my personal brand, the Shun Gunner brand, from 2018 to 2020. It helped me build it because I understood that, you know what, this is just one idea. This is my perspective. Here's how I can apply it to my skill set, my expertise, my experience, my expertise, right? And at that time, I was really focused on business networking. That's why I created high status networking. And that helped me network. High status networking, that one 2 a.m. talk helped me get all the way to her. That's high status networking. You are one connection away from life change. From 2 a.m., 2016, 2 a.m., Beverly Hills kitchen, Ty, Nathan, myself. 20-minute conversation for me house sitting for the very first time. He talked about status, money, knowledge. And there was a bunch of other things in that conversation, but it pertained to those three things. I took that idea. I went off on my own. And guess what? That one idea, that one conversation changed my entire life. Because not only did I acquire a skill set that I can still use today, but it changed my life because I actually applied that skill and I met her through networking. You see, do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, this is just one little thing. Okay. It's just one golden nugget that I took action on and I applied. All right. I applied the knowledge I gained. And so, like this, like the whole point of that, you know, what I was sharing is that when it comes to success, when it comes to momentum, when it comes to being around people who are in a completely different environment, their perspective is completely different. This is what my mentor told me. He said, my life is not the same as yours. My perspective is not the same as yours. Like your normal is not my normal. He told me this. He said, your normal is not my normal. When he said that, that was a huge, he's mentoring me. He's like telling me like, yo, like my reality is completely different than yours, right? I worked so hard to get to the point where I worked smart and hard to get to the point where I'm at. My normal is no longer normal. My normal is now a different version, a different perspective, a different level. Every single person here has the ability to do that. You all have the ability to change your normal, right? That's why when we just to tie everything full circle, the whole reason why I shared that story is because everyone's time is not valued the same. Okay. Everyone shares 24 hours in a day. What you do with that time that you have within those minutes, those hours, those days, it drastically can change the outcome of your life. It just depends on what you do with that time. It depends on the knowledge you have, the resources that you have, and the things that you do with that. That's it. And you can change your entire life. So I'm going to read some comments. Angela says, yes, that was me washing greens yesterday in between my welcome calls. I know the results that come from small details. Took me 7 minutes to do this task. Just get it done. You can be a successful entrepreneur and still have time for your family, friends, and kids, right? Yes. And that's true,
Yeah.
right?
And like that's like the whole point of entrepreneurship. You know what I mean? Sometimes you do have to maybe work more than someone that works 40 hours a week, but until you get really good at your skill set, then you won't necessarily have to unless you want to. Or if you do work that 40 hours in your business, it could equate to someone's 80 to 160 hours, right? So time is valued differently from person to person based on the actions and the results that they create, right?
Yeah.
So you want to spend time with your family, then you need more freedom, right? You want more freedom, then what do you have to do for yourself? And I'm not saying that you can't find a certain type of freedom within a 9 to 5. Sometimes it's easier, right? Like you don't have the liability of worrying about how you're going to make payroll, how you're going to make lease, and how you're going to pay your bills, right? To keep to make sure your business is still running, right? It's not made for everyone, and everyone is not cut for that type of pressure. But if you can be somewhere where you can make extra, you can learn a skill, you can keep getting better at that skill, and you're like learning while you're earning while you are learning, and it's on your own time. You have no liability, you have no risk, you don't have high overhead, you don't have to pay lease, you don't have to pay payroll, right? Then why not? Why not learn something? Why not like earn while you learn and build your skill set to a place where you start to have options and freedom because you know that you can handle whatever XYZ, right?
Exactly. Janice says, yes, if they love your support, they will share the experience with others. Exactly. They are an extension.
Customers, yeah.
Yeah, they're an extension of the experience, right? Angela says, when my customers do BOGO wrong, I actually send them from my own supply. It's your personal business and people don't treat it like it. Become the best at customer service. It's the foundation to your legacy business. Before customer acquisition, I was taking care of my customers for years before an extra check, right? Like, and sometimes you have to do that as a business owner, right? But it's up to you how you want to run your business. So it just seems like overnight, but it's not. That's me. Feel this. I duplicate goats. Yes. And you are. You are.
It's consistency, it's action.
Exactly. Susan says, ensure it's the train you want to be on. And some trains are transfers. Abundant people will show up. Love who you do it with, so we don't suffer doing it. Yes, exactly. And thank you for being there. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for contributing and sharing.
Yes,
Like,
all the way from San Diego.
yeah. So that, like there's so much. Alex says customer acquisition is a direct reflection of customer support. Yep.
Yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
right?
Because your best referrals will come from someone that is like word of mouth marketing, right?
Mhm.
Like you can never go wrong with word of mouth marketing because people want to hear their friend's experience before they try it out.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Remember, this is like about the belief system, right? Like I shared this before, but the belief system, it goes all the way from someone not knowing anything about you whatsoever. Nothing about your product, your service, anything. And then from there, they start to go through the entire belief system, belief cycle, all that stuff. And then from there, boom, right? They get into the visionary. So that is an episode that I can post online, or I think it's somewhere in Fire Hour, but that right there is, it's out there. It's about the belief system. Okay. So Angela says the power of network marketing is through your customers and it's not who you know. It's who they know. I wish people understood this more. This right there, that's a great topic because every single person is an extension of your business, right? If they're a customer for you, they are part of your business, whether you like it or not. So how do you treat that customer? What is their experience as well, right? And it's really important that you understand this as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. And here's another thing too. This is this is another thing. There's so much we can talk about, but when it comes to your goals and dreams, okay? Right? Whatever that is for you, your goals and dreams. If you are happy in your full-time job because that's what you love to do, that is perfectly fine.
Yep.
That is perfectly fine. If you're building a business on the side of your full-time job because you desire to, you want to do that, that is perfectly fine. Here's the thing that most people need to understand, that if you are not happy though with your position and you have big goals and dreams, but you don't do anything about it, then that's on you. Okay? Most people, because a lot of people ask me questions. They're like, "Hey, I'm here working full time but I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do XYZ." And I'm like, all right, like, well, you know, what are you going to do about it? And then just they don't do anything. And then they still complain about the how like they're not happy. And I'm like, yo, if you have big goals and dreams, you got to plan and execute. You got to P&E. You got to organize and plan and have some desires of, you know what, this is what it's going to take to do it. And now I'm going to do the work. And don't let apathy and complacency get in the way, right? All those people, because I was one of them. I was a person who I had big goals and dreams, and I just didn't know what to do. I had no idea that you can be an entrepreneur until I met an entrepreneur and they were like, you can do business. And I was like, oh my gosh, now I can actually go after my goals and dreams. And I did. Okay. I took action. What separates the people who want to do something versus the ones who actually do it, like, is everything. Okay. And it's just about understanding and knowing that it's possible, knowing that entrepreneurship and business is out there. You can start a business literally today. Like if you are a full-time like employee and you want to start an online business, it's a click of a button. That's it. It's one click of a button and you have a business already. Now, obviously, like I'm simplifying everything, but there are so many more things to do and to pursue. Is it done?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, with that said, like and network marketing too is such a good, powerful vehicle to do that. If you're trying to get out of employee into entrepreneurship, but you don't know all the experience or you don't know the skill set, the mindset, the personal development, the XYZ, how to build a business, network marketing, right? Thrive. Network marketing is one of the best vehicles you can ever get in. That's how I started. I started my entrepreneurship journey in network marketing. And I learned from mentors. I learned from the people at the top. They mentored me. So then I decided I'm like, all right, I acquired all these skills and this knowledge, and then I put it out there into the world. Okay. So, and that's how we scaled like Thrive, like with Fire Hour. You know what I mean? So all those years I put in, like it paid out. It paid out. Angela says the power of network marketing is through your customers. Oh yes, I'm sorry. I already read that. Verge says this is so valuable. So thank you. So thankful for you guys pouring into us. People pay a lot of money for this kind of training. Leaders have leaders, and Shun and Crystal has that knowledge from experience and their mentors that they are learning, that they are helping share that to us. Okay. Cutting the learning curve, right? 100%. After talking to someone for advice, the biggest compliment to them is to apply what they recommend. Try anything and everything to see how it works for you. And it's all about learning experiences, and that will only make you better. We are your impact and we are your legacy. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for the shout out. And it's just, you know, like that is one of the biggest compliments is whatever you hear on these Fire Hour calls or whatever you hear on any Zoom call that you get on any like environment that you are in, whoever is talking to you, like all these different things. It's so important to actually take action, right? Like both of us spend an hour talking to you, right? Or just being on, and you don't take any action at all. Like who's at loss right now? Okay. And if you don't even experiment with it, is that my phone?
No, it's mine.
Oh, you don't experiment with it, right? That's the biggest mistake. I think on the next call, on the next episode, we'll talk about speed. I'm going to talk about some few things about speed, okay? Because it's actionable, it's organized, it's action oriented, and it gets results. And it's something I learned when working in a nine-figure business. Okay, Jackie says this is true. Someone told me yesterday they paid $2,500 for coaching, and we do it for free. Super valuable. Better go effing use it. Yes, exactly. It's like it goes back to the blog, right? One of my favorite blog articles. Do you want to get rich or just watch, right? If you want to just watch, like, you know, it's cool to be on Fire Hour and it's cool to watch TV and Netflix and chill and whatever you want to do because it's all entertainment. At the end of the day, this is all entertainment. It's about what you do with this entertainment, with this energy, with this knowledge, right? It's so important to understand like that you have to let your learning lead to action. Okay. So before we end, um, so Jackie, I just wanted to give you a shout out because you crushed it at Love Rising. Like you really impacted people's lives. And you know, when it comes to Love Rising, like, you know, everyone who showed up, who shared the message, who volunteered, who contributed, who supported, like everything mattered. Okay. Yeah. The biggest takeaway that I personally got from Love Rising was that this truly matters. This truly matters to people in the world. And everyone there, from all the feedback that we've gathered, like they felt the love. They truly felt the love. They left there transformed.
Yeah.
They left there inspired and fired up. and excited. And
Yeah.
so like just to end it, like
Let me add something in. So this is what the some of the feedback we've been getting. So we haven't sent out like the email where it's asking everyone for feedback. This is just from people that we know or people that know or like have been like messaging us on Instagram through the Love Tower account. But so they called it the conscious Coachella.
wow.
So I guess that's somewhat of our nickname, right? Like we're always going to be love, like our festival is always going to be called Love Rising. But if you wanted to know what it felt like the conscious Coachella, right? And people felt the love. Like, so literally, like one of our team members, one of the co-founders, Renee, he found the event people that do Coachella. Like he found those people and the people there that was working and putting up the stage, the audio, the lights, like they do huge events like that all the time, year round. And they were like, we felt the love. Like there was so much love there. There was so much compassion. Like you could just feel the energy in the festival. And they were like, and so like that person was like, I've never had like my employees, my workers come back to me and say that they've ever been to any festival and felt something. So it was really, really great feedback to hear. So
Yeah.
you guys aren't going to want to miss next year. Join the wait list. What's the website?
We have the Love Rising 2025 wait list up.
Open.
Okay.
It just happened. Right.
Just happened. So join the wait list. It's thelovetower.com/love rising. Okay. Thelovetower.com/love rising. Join the Love Rising 2025 wait list. This is going to be a yearly annual benefit festival. Okay. All donations and proceeds go to the Love Tower at Shaw. And that's our nonprofit. And we're just so grateful that like this like happened. Like this is momentum. Okay.
It's funny, Jackie, when he was almost gonna be there. So when I was telling you there's someone that you really like and you've seen that may be there, yeah, it was very, very close, but we are now on his radar. So we'll see what happens next year.
Oh yeah, like there's just so much. Yeah, so thank you all so much for the congrats. It was truly amazing. It was truly amazing. And yeah, that everyone, I'm not gonna say his name, but everyone in the comments, like we were in discussion with him and his wife.
Yeah.
And like his wife was trying to come on stage for us, but maybe next year. So we had a very tight, like closed
tight timeline.
Yeah, all these different things. So yeah.
So, join the wait list. See what happens next year. We love you guys so much. Thank you guys for sharing your time and your energy with us. Before that happens, so November 5th, we are doing a group meditation at Venice Beach. If you guys are interested in that, hit me up. That's November 5th. And then November 17th, we're doing a live stream with Marianne Williamson. She's going to be reading parts of our book, and Candace is going to be doing like a live meditation. And there's a lot of people getting involved. If you look on the website, you'll look on the map and you'll see all the spots lit up around the world and the US. So
yeah, and there's so many people literally signed up already for November 17th, and you can literally see them. You can see them like where they're at on the map. Like I registered, I'm from here, I'm from here, I'm from here. It's global. Okay, so it's like it's powerful. Okay, it's impactful, it's powerful, it's inspiring, and this is just the beginning.
And shout out to Nico. He was one of our best volunteers. You're amazing. We couldn't have done it without you. You were such a rock star.
No, for real. Seriously, okay? And like from your stories, like the love, oh my gosh, the love was there.
Yeah. And Christine with her charcuterie, and Diane with her beautiful flower event walls.
I know.
Everything. It was a labor of love, right? I know. Where we all came together and we just did it. So thank you guys all so much.
Jackie says she's not done posting yet. Jackie, I want all the footage that you have.
We have so much more. Like Shen's been like going through it as rapidly as possible, but we were like trying to retrieve all the photographs and videos from like all the photographers and videographers there.
I know. Yeah, Jackie. Yeah, there's so much more to do. All right, this is just the beginning of so much more. This is the next run. So all right, we love you all. Have an amazing day. Sign up for the waitlist, the Love Rising 2025 waitlist. Okay, sign up, share with a friend, share with a loved one. Don't miss out the next one. All right, have an amazing day.
Love you so much.
We'll see you on the next episode. Let's get it. Have an amazing day. Dominate your path. Make it happen. Love you all. Peace out. Let's go.